Hi, I'm Keith Norbie. I'm on the VBrownbag podcast and live stream at VMworld Barcelona, also known as VMworld Europe. And today I'm going to walk you through the EUClaunchpad. I work for NetApp and SolidFire, the business unit within NetApp that focuses on SolidFire's technology, heavily positioned with VMware. And as we're at the show here, we're talking about a lot of things EUC, which for those that don't know what EUC is, it's end user computing. Which covers VDI. A lot of folks know the technology by that name. Some might know it from a service provider perspective as DAS or Desktop as a Service. But the reason why it's called EUC is because it now involves desktop, virtual applications, identity management, a lot of things beyond just the desktop. So this program that we're doing with VMware, between SolidFire and VMware, is one designed to help ease the process of people looking at VDI, DAS, also known as EUC. When you look at somebody's interest to go and do a project around desktop virtualization, the technology has gotten a lot easier. But in this case, it's a process to get information, it's a process to try the technology, and it's a process to find and engage the right partner to take the right route and course of action for you to get from A to Z. And so that's why we created the EUClaunchpad, is to help make that as seamless as possible and for you to defy, sort of the traditional gravity of doing an EUC project. And so in this case, we use the metaphor of a rocket launching, and you'll see some of the animation here on the website that we have. The URL, as you can see, is www.euclaunchpad.com. If you're more of a fan of VDI, you could also get it by hitting vdilaunchpad.com or desktopvirtualizationlaunchpad.com. So the first thing about the site to know is that it's really designed to help people see EUC and VDI as a mixed workload. We know that you have other workloads, but you want to launch your EUC project. You can launch it all here right now. And so the way we do that is we look at really three ways to take you through a process that's right for you. It's all customized to things that are important to you. We focus on trying to break free from the tradition of cost and complexity and the things that somewhat get in the way of you doing a VDI project. In this case, we have a rapid launch, we have a pre-flight, and we have a vPilot. And then for the field and channel partners, we have a channel and field login. So right now we're going through early incubation and partner onboarding to design this in a way that if you're interested in VDI and EUC, you can engage the site and eventually be able to select from partners that will help you engage the process and complete the process of standing a project up. In this case, as you look at the three parts of the site, the rapid launch is really designed to give you a very seamless, quick access to some content packs. So this is like, hey, I want to do a VDI project. I just need some business content or technical content. So let's link to that. And so down here you see a couple of quick links to that. If I click on the business case, this is things designed around TCO and business value. It'll download from your browser, and you can open that as a zip file with the content pack of multiple PDFs that come from both VMware's content and SolidFire's content. And so for the first time, united in one spot, you have the content you need to get infrastructure and software together to become a full SDDC solution for doing VDI and EUC. We also have the technical use case. This is something that you'll see a lot of things like reference architecture, deploy guides, best practices, all the things that you'd need to be able to make a technical case. So this is where you go to make a quick decision and just kind of get underway, and you want to do it with as minimal friction as possible. The pre-flight, however, is something that involves a lot more like, what the pre-flight says. If I'm going to plan to launch a rocket, I'm going to do a lot of analysis about trajectory. I'm going to look at the flight pattern. I'm going to look at, how much velocity I need. And in this case, from a VDI perspective, this is something that both SolidFire and VMware do together. So we unite a deeper depth of content for you. If you take a look at the first layer is, where's our blogs? Each of these does a link out, automatically linking to where our blogs are, both on the VMware side and the SolidFire side. Again, this is designed to make it as easy as possible for you to hit these blogs and see just what the raw content is relative to things you might be looking at, like the 5 big DAS challenges and how to overcome them. Going back to the pre-flight section, you also have models like VDI, DAS, virtual apps. You have use cases. You have rocket fuel. In other words, what's the technology specifically behind Horizon and SolidFire? What's some of the depth behind EUC as a mixed workload? So if we click here as an example, you'll see a secondary page that has some depth in content that helps you, digest what that means, as well as what's the content that'll support that. It'll show you some SolidFire-based things, as well as a nice little blog that VMware did on the concept of VDI, moving from VDI islands to agile infrastructure, and what the real software-defined data center was supposed to be, which is a mix of workloads. So, just going back again, there's a lot of things we could click on here, but for the sake of time, just know that there's some depth here. Again, you can hit this site live while you're watching this, or on a rebroadcast. The vPilot is one of the more interesting ones, in the sense that everyone wants to try the car or take a test drive. And with VDI, you need that same level of proof. So whether it's a pilot or a POC, we have a full portfolio of offerings to give you. We could take you on a test drive of the technology, either in a hands-on labs, a link to VMware's hands-on labs. They're very soon going to have test drive, which is a way for you to have more intimate access to VMware's EUC technology, and that would be without SolidFire. Or if you want to do us together, we could, in the VMware CPOC, or customer POC, out of RTP, they host a full production site for demos, and for, in this case, for doing a pilot on SolidFire gear and all the infrastructure you need to run your workloads in a scenario that you feel like would help give you the test you need. And so that's all there for you to engage and use, where you don't have to buy your own resources. And then also SolidFire does on-site POCs. So in this case, it's the easiest way for you to engage in a variety of ways to try the technology, to get your proof beyond slides, beyond words, that this technology truly works for your workloads and for your desktop virtualization environment. Now the last part that I'll show you just as a quick preview is, by the way, if you want to launch your vPilot, you click on the button here, the button down there, and that'll give you a vPilot activation form, and that routes to SolidFire. That helps route you through the right VMware and SolidFire people and NetApp to help take and activate your vPilot to the next step. You can expect anywhere from a 24 to 48 hour response time on initial inquiry to us, and you'll find us moving pretty fast on those. The field and channel login, if you're watching this and you're a channel partner and you've got a real specialization around desktop virtualization, you've got a practice built around it, you've got skills, and you're interested in being an early adoption partner with us, let me know. My Twitter handle is @KeithNorbie, and just go to EUClaunchpad.com and put in an inquiry for us. In this case, I'll give you a quick preview as to what you get with the field and channel login. So as you can see, what we try to do for the channel partners and for our joint fields, for VMware field and for SolidFire and NetApp field, is give you a bunch of sizing and calculator tools, proposal templates, ways that makes it easier for the customer that wants to get an engagement from somebody like either a manufacturer field or from the channel. It gives them a very succinct way to get the content you need, the sizing calculators, the best practices that those partners and the field resources need to get at to help support the EUC buyer in their process. So, it's something that has current stuff today, as well as you see things like the VDI calculator coming soon. We'll expect that probably the next 30 days. And as we come out with new content, like a new Horizon reference architecture, we'll publish those live onto this site first, along with our other corporate site. And so you could expect to see updates on a monthly basis as we review content with VMware and help tune the site to what customers want out of this. So that's a quick run through again of the EUC Launchpad. And if you have any questions, again, on Twitter, you can find me at @KeithNorbie. That's KeithNorby, as in boy, IE. And the site again is www.euclaunchpad.com. Everyone have a great VMworld, and we'll talk to you guys soon.